Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a vast and mysterious forest, lived a young girl named Red Riding Hood. She earned her name from the vibrant red hooded cape that she wore, a gift from her beloved grandmother. Red Riding Hood was known for her kind heart, adventurous spirit, and her love for exploring the wonders of nature. One sunny morning, Red Riding Hood's mother called her into the cozy kitchen. "My dear," her mother said with a gentle smile, "your grandmother has fallen ill. I fear she may need some company and a little pick-me-up. Would you be willing to take this basket of goodies to her?" Red Riding Hood's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Of course, mother! I'll be happy to bring some cheer to Grandma," she replied enthusiastically. Her mother filled a lovely wicker basket with freshly baked bread, plump and juicy apples, a jar of homemade strawberry jam, and a small bouquet of wildflowers. With the basket carefully secured in her hands, Red Riding Hood embarked on her journey through the enchanting forest. The sunlight danced through the trees, casting ethereal patterns on the forest floor. The air was filled with the fragrance of blooming flowers, and the melodic symphony of chirping birds accompanied her every step. As Red Riding Hood ventured deeper into the woods, she couldn't help but marvel at the beauty that surrounded her. Rays of sunlight filtered through the canopy, creating a kaleidoscope of colors. She spotted a family of rabbits frolicking in a meadow, and a graceful deer gracefully leaping through the underbrush. Nature seemed to embrace her presence, welcoming her into its realm. Unbeknownst to Red Riding Hood, a wily wolf had been observing her from a distance. Its golden eyes glimmered with hunger, and a mischievous plan began to form in its mind. The wolf, driven by its insatiable appetite, decided to intercept Red Riding Hood and seize the basket of delicious treats for itself. As Red Riding Hood continued along the winding path, she suddenly heard a rustling sound from behind a cluster of bushes. Curiosity piqued, she cautiously approached the source of the noise. To her surprise, she discovered a beautiful butterfly ensnared in a spider's web. "Oh, little one, fear not," Red Riding Hood spoke softly as she gently freed the delicate creature. With a thankful flutter of its wings, the butterfly soared into the sky, leaving Red Riding Hood with a heart brimming with joy. Lost in her thoughts, Red Riding Hood failed to notice the cunning wolf stealthily approaching her. Its eyes gleamed with hunger, and its tail swayed with anticipation. The wolf, skilled in the art of deceit, decided to take advantage of Red Riding Hood's innocence and kindness. Hiding its true intentions, the wolf approached Red Riding Hood with a disarming smile. "Hello, dear girl! Where might you be heading with such a delightful basket?" it inquired, feigning politeness. Red Riding Hood turned to face the wolf, her eyes sparkling with warmth. "I'm on my way to visit my dear grandmother. She hasn't been feeling well, and I thought these goodies would bring her some comfort," she replied, unaware of the wolf's ulterior motives. The wolf's smile widened, revealing gleaming teeth. "How thoughtful of you," it crooned, its voice dripping with false sweetness. "But, my dear, wouldn't it be such a shame for you to walk all the way to your grandmother's house? It's quite far, you know." Red Riding Hood hesitated, considering the wolf's words. "Well, yes, it is a long walk, but I don't mind. I enjoy the journey through the forest," she replied, her voice filled with determination. Seeing that its initial attempt had failed, the wolf quickly devised a new plan. "Ah, but my dear, there is a shortcut through the densest part of the forest. It will get you to your grandmother's house in no time," it suggested, a glint of mischief in its eyes. Red Riding Hood's innocent heart swayed by the allure of a shortcut. She weighed her options and finally agreed, unaware of the danger that awaited her. "Alright, Mr. Wolf, I trust you. Show me the way," she said, her voice filled with misplaced trust. The wolf led Red Riding Hood deeper into the heart of the forest. The trees grew taller, their branches intertwining to create a dense canopy that blocked out the sunlight. The atmosphere turned eerie, and an unsettling silence settled upon them. As they ventured further, Red Riding Hood's intuition began to stir. A feeling of unease crept into her heart, causing her steps to falter. She looked around, realizing that she had strayed far from the familiar paths she had always taken. "Mr. Wolf, I don't recognize this place. Are you sure we're going the right way?" Red Riding Hood asked, her voice tinged with concern. The wolf grinned, its teeth glistening in the dim light. "Oh, my dear, trust me. This is indeed the right way." "Just a little further," it assured her, its voice dripping with false reassurance. Red Riding Hood hesitated, torn between her trust in the wolf and her growing sense of unease. Ultimately, her intuition won over, and she made a bold decision. "I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf, but I can't continue any further. Something doesn't feel right. I'll find my own way," she declared, her voice filled with determination. The wolf's facade began to crumble, and its eyes narrowed with frustration. "You foolish girl! You dare disobey me?" it growled, its voice no longer masked by sweetness. But Red Riding Hood stood her ground, summoning her inner strength. "I may be young, but I am not foolish. I'll find my own way to my grandmother's house," she retorted, her voice unwavering. With that, Red Riding Hood turned on her heels and retraced her steps, leaving the wolf seething with anger and hunger. As she ventured through the unfamiliar forest, her heart pounded with adrenaline. Every sound seemed magnified, and her senses were heightened. After what felt like an eternity, Red Riding Hood finally stumbled upon a familiar landmark, a babbling brook that she had crossed numerous times before. Relief washed over her, and she followed the brook, knowing that it would lead her back to the familiar path. As the sun began its descent, casting a warm golden glow upon the forest, Red Riding Hood emerged from the dense foliage and found herself standing before her grandmother's quaint cottage. With a mixture of relief and excitement, she approached the door and knocked gently. "Grandma, it's me, Red Riding Hood. I've come to visit you," she called out, her voice filled with love and concern. The door creaked open, revealing Red Riding Hood's grandmother, who had recovered from her illness. The elderly woman's eyes twinkled with joy as she embraced her granddaughter. "Oh, my dear Red Riding Hood, I'm so glad to see you," she exclaimed, her voice filled with genuine affection. Red Riding Hood beamed with happiness, grateful to have arrived safely and to be in the comforting presence of her grandmother. They spent hours catching up, sharing stories, and feasting on the delicious treats that Red Riding Hood had brought. As the evening wore on, Red Riding Hood's mother arrived at the cottage, having grown worried about her daughter's delayed return. She embraced Red Riding Hood tightly, her eyes brimming with tears of relief and love. Red Riding Hood recounted her adventure, speaking of the wily wolf and her decision to trust her instincts. Her mother listened intently, her heart swelling with pride for her brave and wise daughter. In the days that followed, the village heard of Red Riding Hood's encounter with the wolf. The story traveled from person to person, serving as a cautionary tale and a testament to the power of intuition and bravery. From that day forward, Red Riding Hood became a symbol of resilience and strength in her village. She continued to explore the enchanted forest, but she always remained vigilant and attentive to her surroundings. And so, the tale of Red Riding Hood and the cunning wolf echoed through the generations, reminding all who heard it to trust their instincts, stay true to themselves, and never underestimate the power of a brave heart.